And a 1, 2, 3, 4.
I hate the word "C.H.U.D."
That went poorly.
So poorly.
Yeah, that didn't
C.H.U.D.
feel great.
You know what else was poorly?
What?
This fucking
This opening?
movie.
Yeah, this movie was...
Dude.
Hello and welcome to another episode
Nice.
of Dookie Spookies.
Nice. You gotta
The
put like
scary movie where we watch-
put a eagle screech and a guitar riff in the background.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. The most American podcast.
Oh
you've ever heard.
yeah. Good sports bike. Kroger.
Yes, the podcast where we watch bad scary movies and rank them in an ever-growing list to discover the worst
Horror
one.
movie of all time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Per usual, their descriptions. Fuck.
Wow.
Hello and welcome to another episode of
What?
Dookie.
We're doing it over.
That
again?
was so fucked up.
What was?
The entire intro.
Are we? We can't cold open twice 2 episodes in a row.
Why?
Absolutely,
we literally
we can't.
started over mid 15
other one we were-
minutes in.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Hello and welcome. You can do it 3 times.
To another episode,
Of Dookie.
Spookies.
the podcast where we watch bad scary movies and rank them in an ever-growing list to discover what the worst horror movie of all time is. I'm Pierce.
I'm Jack.
I'm somebody.
I thought you were gonna say I'm Jack.
I don't know. I went
That would have
blank.
been funny. I'm Jack.
And I'm Jack. There are, of course, time codes in the description below if you want to jump around or skip any sections. That being said, let's talk about the movie we watched this week, which was... Whose movie was
This is
it?
mine.
Jack.
Of course.
Yep.
C.H.U.D.
C.H.U.D.
Cannibalistic.
Yep.
Humanoid.
Yep.
Underground dwellers.
Yes. What was the other... what was the other acronym? Do you remember?
Chemical. Hazardous. Uptown dancing.
Photography.
Pretty close.
There's no P in it.
Oh, sorry.
C.H.U.D. PP.
Well, there might have been P down in the sewers.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
This is our second subterranean movie in 2 weeks.
yeah, that was what happened with your voice there.
I got a little frog in my throat.
Yes, it was. And
I'm Jack's grandpa.
oh god, how's it going, Jack's grandpa? Did you like?
I hated it.
Oh,
it
that
was
makes
nothing
sense.
like the war.
Before we get into the discussion, I have some general information to get
Give it.
out of the way. Released in 1984.
Ew.
Censorship?
Was that
Big
1984 or
Brother?
1985?
It was 1984.
Okay, good.
George Orwell's Animal Farm.
Good books. All good books. Budget for this movie was $125 million. No, $1.25 million.
Damn. But in 1980s money, that's like
Yeah, that's
4
a
to
lot of
7.
money.
Who wants to
million
convert
dollars.
that?
That's
I
actually
will.
a lot of money.
Okay.
Can you play the Jeopardy theme song over this part? dun,
Dun 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 dun.
dun, 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 dun. It's
really good. You got it? No?
Fuck, this is a website that's only specifically for $2013, dude. Why does this exist?
Like $2013 to now?
No,
Honest-
specifically only that converts money to $2013. It's called in2013dollars.com.
That'd be a good.
Fuck, dude. This is
It's okay.
your
your
Wi-Fi's
time.
bad.
Just take your time.
Keep singing it. Keep singing it.
Slow is smooth. Smooth is fast.
This is
Hurry the fuck
instructions on how to calculate the inflation.
Just look it up.
$100 in 1984 would be worth $297
That
today.
doesn't help.
So just multiply it by 2.9.
No.
1.25 times 2.9.
Okay,
It
here
would be
we go.
$3.625 million.
How much?
Probably 3.625.
Like $4 million.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check your math there.
Yeah. Let's see if I was right.
1984 to 2024. 3.019.
Okay, I was $600,000 off.
3
That was
point-
riveting content.
3 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll probably be most of that will be cut out. Yeah, today's money, that's $3 million.
Still not a
Not huge.
yeah.
No.
Box office of $4.7 million.
Okay.
So it made money.
kind of a lot.
Dude, and
Yeah.
that's a lot of fucking 1980s Coke money, dude. We could buy guns
Here's
and
stuff.
sports bikes.
More background info for you.
You guys hate my before recording callbacks.
I didn't remember it.
Sorry, I'm really fucking derailing this intro. I'll
Yep.
stop.
2 Home Alone actors were in this. The
I've
dad
never
from Home
seen that.
Alone
Yeah.
was the main photographer. And what was his name? Reverend Shepard played
the
Marv.
soup kitchen dude.
And then
Crazy.
John Goodman, this was his first movie appearance as
Really?
as a cop at the diner who was like, "Hey, sweet thing, how'd you learn to cook like this?" That was John Goodman, which is crazy. The film had a limited theatrical release and debuted at number 13 at the box office.
Which is
The 13th best movie that got released.
crazy.
Yeah.
A
That's
lot
insane.
of movies get released.
It had a home re-release in 2008 as part of a cult fiction series, which totally makes
Okay.
sense. I can see
Yeah.
this as a cult classic. A sequel, C.H.U.D 2, Bud the Chud, was released in 1989.
So
that was my
nice.
first note.
So funny.
Here's some good stuff. Although C.H.U.D was negatively received during its initial release, it attracted a cult following over the years, inspiring the name of a film website, which changed the acronym's meaning to Cinematic Happenings Under Development. This was apparently a huge reference in a lot of stuff. It appeared in The Simpsons, in the CW's The Flash, in a TV show.
Run, Flash, the chuds.
I think it was probably just like on a bookshelf somewhere.
Oh, okay.
It was in Aqua Teen Hunger Force,
Okay.
which sounds familiar, but I don't.
It's a Adult Swim show.
yeah.
Okay. It was in Clerks 2, which I haven't seen, but
Electric
I know it's good.
Boogaloo?
No. Castle is in that. Don't know what that is. It was in Archer, which is a great show.
When you say in, do you mean like they referenced
Yes.
Chud in the script?
Or it was just a reference somewhere in the show.
Okay. I
Like,
could see
it was
being
either-
So it was like an
Archer.
Easter egg.
Like they do a Chud's episode.
I don't. Maybe I would have to rewatch Archer.
Futurama did a Chud's episode for sure.
Well, I think the Futurama reference is that in Futurama the mutants live under the city in the sewers.
Oh, our cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers.
Yeah, basically. It was in Pushing Daisies. It was in Outer Banks. It was referenced
Really?
in Agents of Shield, and it was
Banks?
and it was referenced in Rick and Morty.
What's that show?
Rick and Morty.
That's a
probably
funny
something
show.
for
That's a good
losers
show.
and fucking sweaty chin beards dudes who embarrass themselves at McDonald's.
Which one are you?
The McDonald's one.
Pick a side.
Martin Cooper's score was later named number 33 in Rolling Stone's 35 Greatest Horror Soundtracks.
That's good.
It's a pretty good soundtrack.
Kind of low on the list. though, Rolling Stones.
C.H.U.D appears in a 2003 video game Tony Hawk's Underground
No way.
under the
No
name
fucking way.
Thud.
What's that mean? Tony Hawk Underground Dweller.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I guess. I mean,
Totally horrific.
well, it's
underground
funny because
dude.
people call Tony Hawk's Underground, the abbreviation for that is Thug. So that's similar. And then a VHS copy of C.H.U.D appears in the opening shot of Jordan Peele's 2019 horror film Us.
Really?
Yeah.
There were some cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers in the movie Us.
I've never seen it, but
Yeah, they lived underground
Yeah.
in that movie.
makes sense. I guess I read something that said that this movie was a big influence in that one.
Yeah, I could see it.
But that's my background info.
Nice.
So,
That was very thorough.
I do research.
Yeah.
Wikipedia mostly, but sometimes I dabble in IMDb.
Yeah.
Really good out there.
Not a lot of people get down that far.
No, you know who has?
Who has?
Chris, because he's about to tell us what the story
That's a
was.
good point, yeah.
Yeah. So this story was about Ninja Turtles that eat people.
Okay.
I can't wait for that. I can't wait for Ninja Turtles to become public domain, so somebody can make a C.H.U.D style horror movie.
Based on the Ninja Turtles.
That'd be incredible.
Yeah,
I could see this.
We're actually going to produce it. So
Oh, yeah, that's
Yes,
true.
that's our
yeah.
first.
Mhm.
We just gotta wait for
The
that. to hit.
Ninja Turtles had one too many pizzas.
They got fat and hungry for people. As you
Oh,
do.
it's a pandemic-themed Ninja Turtles movie. What happens when your pizza delivery driver can't leave the house? What did the turtles eat? And then it cuts to
Humans.
Michelangelo. Cowabunga, dude. How are we going to get Cowa through this, brother?
Cal through this.
Totally tubular.
Okay. Let's give our initial reviews. This is dumb.
That's
and
the
bad.
funniest thing I've ever said in my life.
It's dumb and bad.
Wow.
Can you cut out when I said this is the funniest thing?
No, that's actually going to be emboldened.
Yeah.
That's the title of the episode.
I'm gonna slow and reverb it.
All other audio is just going to be silent.
It's gonna be that on a loop for an hour.
Yeah. I was like, he's going to play it and then play a rewrite track and then play it
Oh,
again.
man.
And then we're going to release
Yeah.
a bunch of YouTube shorts for it.
Record scratch, repeat it.
like the opening of a horror movie.
Yeah.
That's how the opening of the... Okay, I'm done. Never mind.
Initial reviews. What'd you guys think?
I thought this was an okay movie. It was a little hard to get through, I think, with some of the dialogue, some of the acting. I think kind of
Yeah.
the 80s film just doesn't
Yeah, I mean,
vibe with me.
the 80s were definitely still a time where I think they were still figuring out how to make good movies. Because Jack pointed this out to me that there's a lot of like shuffling sounds when people are walking and running. Because I think it's before they figured out that they could just overdub the movie and make it sound good and cut that
think-
stuff out.
I feel like they just did... Like, the Foley effects are intentionally exaggerated.
No,
You don't think so?
no. If you watch any movie that like isn't super high budget from before 1985, you're gonna hear everybody's footsteps. You're gonna see lots of long shots of people walking away. Because it was just like they were, it was
didn't know
still
they
a
could
fairly,
edit stuff.
yeah, it was a still fairly new art form. Which now, ADRing the entirety of a movie isn't that uncommon, especially with like scenes of people running or fighting or stuff like that.
When you say ADR, do you mean like they go in a booth after the movie's done and they do the words then?
Yeah, but they also do like if they've got a paper bag, they'll add in the sounds for that, or if there's a car driving by, they'll add in that sound. So they'll just clean it up so you're not hearing everybody breathing into the microphone on their chest.
Yeah,
and-
there's a lot of breathing in this movie.
but yeah, just like that. Me, I thought it was pretty solid, fun horror movie. I said that if you like They Live or any other dumb 80s horror movies, that you'll like this movie. So I liked it.
Yeah. I didn't finish it.
I finished it.
I finished it like 30 minutes ago when I got here.
Okay.
I made Pierce put on the last 10 minutes. I thought that it may have been because I was watching it so late, but I did feel like it kind of drug at times.
Agreed.
Sometimes I didn't really know what was going on. I was like, the plot sort of just skipped around. The pacing's always a little weird in 80s movies. But overall, I had fun. It was a fun movie. I thought it was cool. I loved the characters.
Yes.
I thought that there was some cool interactions. I could see some spin-offs. Overall, nice.
Yeah, at first I definitely thought that I was like, oh no, the acting is going to be like The Room in this. But I quickly forgot about the acting just because I was like, I love some of these characters so much.
Yeah.
But I know that Riley hates this movie, so.
I hated it at first.
Oh,
gotcha.
Misdirection.
The more, I mean, I was in and out of it. It was hard to like grab my attention. And then, I was walking around rooms. And then probably mid-movie, I think when things just start to pick up, like you said, the pacing is weird.
Yeah,
There-
it definitely drags.
Yeah, I think
At certain times.
You're definitely right about the acting. It wasn't, like the acting wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
No.
Which I think is what kind of kept me peaking.
Yeah.
And seeing and like keeping track at least just a little bit. It's an average movie.
Oh,
That's my opinion. But I don't necessarily hate it.
that's fair.
Yeah.
I maybe because I think I was just over it that day and I did want to go to
fair.
bed early.
Yeah.
If I had like a day where I wasn't doing anything, I would be open to sitting down and maybe committing watching
Yeah.
it to
That's
it
what
again.
That's what Pierce said. Like, this would be a fun movie if we all sat down and watched the movie.
I think it'd be so much fun.
Yeah. It'd
Yeah.
be
There's
fun movie to
so
watch.
many opportunities to
be
just
like, what the hell?
freak out about what's happening. There was one particular particular relationship between two characters that carried the whole movie for me.
Where
If it wasn't in there, it would have been like, this is dull and boring and there's no chemistry. But there's two characters in this that had so much chemistry together, and I loved them.
You can tell that Ryan Reynolds, whoever played Bradley Cooper, what was the guy's name from the last movie?
Bradley Cooper?
Yeah, Bradley Cooper, I think, definitely watched this movie as character inspiration.
Probably. He did good. Mm-hmm. They just needed another person in the Midnight Meat Train to also
to bounce off. Yeah. Instead of fucking
other than
Jurgis
Rampage
or whatever,
Jackson,
Gurgis, whatever that guy's name was.
Instead of a Stonewall.
Okay, that was last week's movie.
Yeah, sorry. Letterboxd reviews, our famous segment that somehow nobody's ever ready for. But I am, so I'll go first. Mine is by Nicole Silverberg.
Just a full name username.
That's her name, Nicole Silverberg. She said, "The way I see it, the creature is C.H.U.D. When it attacks, it chuds. But if it attacks you, you got chid. Not taking questions at this time."
That's pretty good.
It's a great review.
I like it.
Yeah, I was like, that got a like and a favorite from me, and a retweet.
Ooh,
just kidding.
Yeah,
you can't do that.
You can't call it retweet anymore.
A rex.
Yeah, otherwise the Pinkertons come to your house.
Fuck, not the Pinkertons. No, please.
My
name's Arthur Morgan.
Here's one. This one's by Ziglet_Mirror. 2 stars and a heart, which I think is a very, very appropriate rating. 2 stars. I liked it.
But I loved it.
What's that sound of a body hitting the floor? C.H.U.D. Or John Goodman chewing a rare cheeseburger with his mouth open? C.H.U.D. Question marks added for emphasis.
Wasn't there another part to that?
I didn't open it. Oh, that's what the little dots mean on Letterboxd.
Oh my god.
Or how about the sound of Kim Greist's acting career coming out of the 80s? C.H.U.D.
There you go.
And then they go on for a while, and I'm not going to read that.
Yeah, there was one I was going to read, and then I clicked on it, and it was a fucking paragraph.
Some people take that shit seriously on Letterboxd, dude.
Imagine taking movie reviews seriously.
Yeah, imagine putting effort and time into creating a movie review. Like in an audio format.
Could never be me.
Yeah, like some sort of podcast.
Yeah, what kind of loser
sitting
does
around.
that?
Yeah,
some sort of cast that you listen to on
Just
your
on
iPod.
like the internet or something.
Talking to nobody into a microphone. Just what's wrong with
Imagining that you have an audience.
you? Yeah.
Dreaming and wishing,
praying, pleading.
Yeah, guys, don't forget to like this episode.
Yeah. Subscribe if you're enjoying it so far. You probably didn't make it this far, but that's okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is
Maybe
This
you
is
skip
the
past it.
secret. The secret part for people who listen to more than 5 minutes.
Secret part.
Yeah.
We tell you a big secret while Riley looks for her Letterboxd review.
Do we each have a big secret?
Oh, I have it.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
ahead.
go.
Yeah, well, Jessie gave it 4 stars. Loved it so much, she's going to name her firstborn C.H.U.D.
Aw,
That's
Imagine
kind of wholesome.
Imagine going to school and your name's C.H.U.D.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've met a C.H.U.D before.
Just like the worst guy you've ever met.
Yeah, instead of a Chad, his name's C.H.U.D.
My name's C.H.U.D.
It's like
actually.
another evolution.
Yeah, he's definitely the quarterback.
Or to D&D it's like a desecrated Chad becomes a Chud.
Oh, that's gonna be my next character.
Yeah, desecrated Chad.
Desecrated
but you're
Chud.
That's hilarious. Something terrible happened to you, and now you're a Chud instead of a Chad, and you have to get back to being a Chad.
Yeah, that's my arc.
Wow. That's also the B plot of the Ninja Turtles movie.
that is true.
We're back to Ninja Turtles.
Sorry, guys, you'll get that big secret next week.
Yes.
Yeah, that was actually the review I was gonna read. It was talking about alternative universe where there was a. What the fuck is happening right now? My phone is freaking out right now. But
Tell it to calm down.
where the Ninja Turtles and the Chud fight in the sewers of New York to see who reigns supreme.
That'd be sick.
I would watch that.
That'd be sick. And then you get a Deus Machina. How do you say it? I can't figure it out.
That's actually my D&D's
a Deus Ex
character name.
Machina.
Yeah.
With the subterranean guys from Mutant Train.
I'm surprised it's not already
that.
like a comic book.
Yeah.
That's great. What do you say we just get right into it?
Yeah.
Talk about some spoiler stuff.
Yeah.
Movie discussion. go over some things.
Best opening shot of a movie we've watched so far. And I want to ask a question. Was the opening shot of this movie Detective spoilers.
We're in the spoiler section.
We're in the spoiler section. So the opening shot of this movie, there's a woman walking her dog who gets eaten by a chud. Is that Detective Bosch's wife?
Yes.
Oh, I just put it together.
I didn't look that close.
Because when they got to that part where they were like, oh my God, look, don't let him look. It's his wife. I was like, his wife? They haven't even said one word about it.
I really like
movie.
I really like the part.
Actually.
Yeah, they did. And I was going to say, I liked the part when Officer Bosch went into the soup kitchen to talk to this guy he has history with. They don't really like each other, and he's like, the Reverend Shepherd is his name, which is a great name, by the way.
Yeah.
Most incredible.
Sounds like a
Reverend
Walking
A.J.
Dead
Shepherd.
character.
Yeah, that's a sick name. But he's called the cops, and this guy shows up that he doesn't really like. They have history, and he's like, we've got people disappearing down here at the soup kitchen. The people who live underground. Those homeless
Great
guys.
world building.
Those homeless guys who
Yeah.
live underground, they're disappearing. And Officer Bosch is like acting all, oh yeah, no, okay, yeah, whatever, sure. But I'm kind of interested into it. And eventually he's trying to learn more. And Reverend Shepherd is like, what? Did your mommy disappear or something? Why do you care? And he's like, actually, it was my wife.
Yeah. Actually, my wife disappeared walking a dog.
So he knew that his wife had disappeared the whole time.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Reverend Shepherd was just like, fuck, I shouldn't have dug this.
That's
I
why
shouldn't have-
he was so interested in the missing person.
Yes. Yeah, he had a particular interest in the case. But you're introduced to the main character. There's kind of
Three.
four,
Yeah,
Four,
there's,
sure.
there's a few.
but I'd say he's like the main character. In my opinion, the least interesting main character out of the four, who is the dad from Home Alone, who I described in my notes as the most normal looking guy I have seen in a movie in a while.
Yeah, for sure. And also, if you're keeping up with the podcasts, you'll note him as Bradley Cooper's character from the Midnight Meat Train.
Yes, photographer. He doesn't want to shoot sexy
No, he doesn't wanna.
perfume ads.
I'm not doing this corporate bullshit.
Yeah,
man.
but I also don't want to be a hard-hitting
I gotta
journalistic
go in the sewers
photographer.
and take pictures of people.
But yeah, it's like, what do you want to photograph? Because you don't want to do photo shoots of like pretty women
No,
doing perfume stuff.
Not at all.
You don't want to do journalistic photography.
no.
What do you want to take pictures of, guy?
People who live in the sewers.
A guy's bitten off leg?
Yeah.
Why? What's his game plan?
Because you're Bradley Cooper from the Midnight Meat Train.
But he seems to make money.
he seems to make good money. Also, there's some stuff in there about him being famous.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, he
by,
does.
by another character who I really liked, actually. Kind of mild side character, but I like this guy.
Who
was
kind of appeared-
journalist Murphy.
Appeared at first to be a
Murphy.
badass. And you're like, this
Yeah.
guy seems cool. And then very quickly you're like, no, this guy is not cool.
Does he? Yeah, he did get kind of lame, but at first he felt like a dude who would play like a cool like CIA agent in a movie. He's like
Approaching a
real
guy.
he's real slick.
Yeah,
Is
he's
that
like,
the journalist that's like
Yeah, the
hounding him for
journalist.
pictures?
yeah, and he's like, the
Right.
cops have broken into your house. I know you better than you.
Yeah,
know
yeah. And he's like, then there's a line in there.
You
where
don't
he-
want people don't want to take. People want to be rich, but they don't always want to be famous. You just want to be famous.
Yeah,
huh?
there's a
rap
good line
guy.
in there too where he says to Derek's like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "Man, nobody knows me." I was like, "That's sick, dude."
He said nobody knows me.
But then when he goes down,
Yeah,
when he goes down into the sewer, he's like, "I've got a gun."
yeah, and he gets so afraid
and
immediately.
he dies so fast.
quickly. Yeah,
Like, who the fuck is
you know,
this goofball?
I do think that Derek really, of all the characters, I think Derek was the least prepared for the Chuds and probably got the worst of it.
Yeah.
Because he saw so many people get eaten by Chuds. And Derek, for a guy who wants to shoot fucked up shit, really couldn't stand looking at a gross body.
No, he can't hang.
And because he didn't take a single picture the whole time.
I thought that. Yeah, I was like, "What happened to your whole deal?"
He took some pictures of the journalist, actually.
That's true.
Which was cool. That was I like that scene too.
Yep.
Because it was like, look, man, I got you on the film. But yeah, I don't know. Derek's character, meh.
Was that the John Hurd from the dad from Home Alone? Is that his character's name, Derek, the photographer?
Oh, I think so. Or Derek's the guy that he talks with on the phone, who's also never explained.
I can't remember.
I can't remember which one's which.
we'll
I'm
call
bad
him
at
Derek.
I'm bad at character
Yeah.
names. I wrote that I'm not going to say anything bad about John Hurd, the dad from Home Alone, throughout the movie, which I ended up not really having too much bad to say about him, but I was going in prepared to like be like, oh yeah, this sucks and he's bad. But I was like, I don't want to do that because one, he's dead. So I don't want to speak ill of the dead. Two, he has one of the saddest quotes about his career I've ever read.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I posted it down here. I won't read the whole thing out because it's kind of long. But I'll just read the first sentence he put because it just puts into perspective how sad it is.
Is John Hurd the guy that played Tarzan that had a big comeback and he played that one guy in that movie?
No,
Okay.
he's the dad from Home Alone.
Okay.
So this is the beginning of his quote. Somebody asked him about his career, and he said, I guess I went from being a young leading man to being just kind of a hack actor. Whoa. It's a really sad quote about like how he's like, yeah, you know, I dropped the ball in my career, as my dad would say.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah, he's like, you know, I was kind of an arrogant jerk back in the day, but then I just turned into kind of a, you know, who cares about this actor kind of guy. He ends it with, but that's okay. That's all right. That's the way it is. No sour grapes. I mean, I don't have any regrets except that I could have played some bigger parts. So sad.
John Hurd,
Yeah.
you were good in this
He
movie.
was good in this. I mean, I just don't think the writers gave him the most interesting character.
Yeah,
But
I
he was
agree.
good, and I actually think that a lot of the actors were really good. His wife in this,
Yeah.
I thought she was really good at times, like when they're talking about the pregnancy, and I was like, that felt like a
Yeah.
really good acting
Yeah.
job
That,
right
yeah,
there.
that was a good scene.
I mean, it felt so natural and like a conversation that people probably have had, and you know, it felt super natural. And then when he's like, you know, if I said yes, I want you to have the kid, would you want that? And she starts crying. I'm like, this is fucking good, dude. This is some crazy acting stuff.
Yeah, wasn't it? Yeah, it was for 80s movies, which I think notoriously have some rough acting, especially if you're not accustomed to the like style, you know, because it's just so different from movies nowadays.
It is. I wrote a good example of it where I think it's the older lady who dies at the beginning. The wife is going out to the photo shoot, and she's like, "Oh, are you the photographer that just moved into the building?" She's like, "No, I'm a model. My boyfriend's the photographer." And then the old woman says, "Good luck." And there's a pause, a longer than it needed to be pause, like a full beat. And then she says, "Thanks," and then closes the door and leaves. It was like, "Good luck. Thanks." It's like, ooh, that should have been cut. That little pause.
So they had
was
to do
bad.
that, like the tape editing by hand, and that's as close as they could get or something.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works. Anyways, on to the two fucking coolest characters ever. Did we
Fucking-
talk about them already?
yeah.
Reverend
Reverend Shepard,
Shepard,
who
and
was
Captain Bosch.
and Reverend Shepard. He played Marv in Home Alone.
Crazy.
Yep, and he was really fucking good,
He was
dude.
really good in this.
He
movie.
was my favorite character.
I agree.
He was so
I
good.
agree.
But the relationship, and I teased it a little bit at the beginning, the relationship between him and Bosch, I loved how it grew along with the movie.
Yeah.
Like they became
I thought they were
closer
going to do
and-
a "you son of a bitch."
Yeah, and they kind of do
Yeah.
at the end a little bit. But I was like, I love these two. I love the dynamic between them. I love the scene in the boardroom with the bigwigs and the people from the radiation department or whatever.
Yeah.
And the Marv is like, oh yeah, and fuck this. This is so dumb. I hate this. I'm out of here. Unless you guys want to see these pictures I have.
I did think that part was a
whoa.
little corny. Like when I
I
watched it, I was like,
loved it.
come on, dude. You didn't lead with the photos.
No, I think that was
He's got a sense of showmanship.
Oh.
I think the point was like they kind of knew that they were gonna try to cover it up. You know what I mean? So you can't
Okay, so
necessarily
maybe I-
lead with that. You
Yeah.
got to try to get
out
them
of
to give some information before
God, maybe
you
I do really
pull out
bad in
your
a
trump
high
card.
stakes, meeting like
Well,
this.
that
'Cause
guy
I'd be
was
like,
really
listen,
bad.
no, I'd open. I'd be
was
like, we've got photos,
Oh. Yeah,
And they'd be like, "You've got-
give them to me.
and I'd be like, no.
Come get him. But the radiation guy who works for the government, he was terrible.
Yeah,
He was
not
like,
good.
yeah, what are you gonna go? Like, oh yeah, sure, go to the press. And they're like, okay. He's like, no, wait, don't go to the press. They're like, okay. And then finally, all it takes is like them being like, why don't you just tell us what's going on? He gets a phone call. He's like, okay, have you heard of this thing called a C.H.U.D?
Yeah. And he's like, oh, I can't tell you this. You'll have to get clearance. This is classified. We've got photos. I better tell you.
Yeah, I've got a phone call. Hold on. Yes, we've
I
captured a chud.
I better tell you and the soup kitchen.
This
man.
grub. This grub you brought me.
I better let you in on this one.
I was like, come on, guy.
Come on, dude.
That's crazy.
Although I did like, there was this weird subplot of like the nuclear commission agents following Shepard around, and the scene where Shepard goes to try and call the press, and the secret agent comes up to him and grabs his quarter and swallows it and just looks at him. I was like, whoa, that's a tight T-shirt. Hoss.
Yeah,
That's what I took away. Tight 80s T-shirt.
I love that, dude. I said big fan of the emotionless sunglasses guy.
Yeah, dude.
so
You know what this movie reminded me of a lot? Oh, I'm going to forget it now. It's the movie that, spoilers if you haven't seen it, there's like a alien car and it fucking goes up into the air, and it's about a guy who...
Grease.
No, but close. It's about a guy who works at a junkyard. He gets a job at a junkyard, and there's like a alien thing.
Are you thinking of Blood Cart?
No, I'm not thinking of Blood Car. Oh, man.
I was gonna say E.T., but I don't think there's any junkyards in
80s
that.
movie about alien car.
The only movie I know with a junkyard.
Repo Man. This movie
right.
reminded me of
Oh.
Repo Man a lot, actually.
Yep.
Which came out the same year. Repo Man came out the same year as this movie.
It was a hot year
That's
for
wild.
for
kind of alien themed sci-fi.
Yeah.
That was a theme in this movie that I thought was cool. Was like it's the 80s, you know. I think Reagan was president in 84.
Maybe.
It's like peak of the Cold War, like nuclear stuff, and like it feels like there's so many movies about nuclear waste in the 80s.
It's hot on the mind because
Hot on the mind. Well, yeah, Chernobyl was around the same time, and so that's why I love 80s movies, is because you can really feel the climate through a lot of them. Because a lot of their like monsters, for especially the horror movie stuff, isn't that.
Sorry. I was thinking of a scene that Chris and I were discussing, and I think we both turned to each other. We're like, that was pretty progressive.
The abortion scene.
Maybe that's
Yeah,
what it
Yeah,
It was
that
when
for
they
an
were talking
80s
about the
movie?
marriage, and he's like,
Oh,
"Well,
dude.
it's your body, your choice." I feel like I don't really have a say.
For sure. Yeah, that was very progressive for an 80s movie.
But to piggyback off what you were saying, Jack, with the
Cold War.
well, there was a couple times in there where they were. I think he was talking to the in the boardroom, right? And he's like, it was hot down in the sewers, and I was like, did he just mean it was warm down there? But then they were talking about the radiation. I was like, that feels like totally something that's been lost.
Yeah.
We're just calling it, it's hot.
Yeah.
Like we don't say that.
Yeah,
when
like
something's-
Geiger counters were in the zeitgeist.
Yeah, just like I was like, oh, that must have been like common nomenclature back then.
Yeah.
To refer to something radioactive as it was hot, which we don't do anymore.
You just say,
It's radioactive, but I'm gonna use
well,
that.
you know what you say? It's radioactive. It's radioactive.
Whoa,
Whoa.
I got you. I'm on the same page. Let's see.
That's right. This podcast is brought to you by the Imagine Dragons.
Yes, we're actually.
Check out our new album.
Yeah, we're the members.
Let It Go, lead singer of the Imagine Dragons. Let's hear it.
Are you waking up? Are you tasting dust? Is that how it goes?
Oh, are you pouring?
Rain on my sweat and my rust.
I thought I was gonna. Damn. I had an idea.
Shout out to the kid in this movie who didn't give two shits that her granddad got ate by a.
Oh yeah.
She was so
Did not care.
traumatized.
That
dude.
shot of her in the
in the
thing,
phone.
She
No,
just looked
she
like she
was
was seeing
traumatized.
deadness.
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
in shock. She was like,
There wasn't a
and the
good shock
phone
face.
dangling.
I think the direction there was look as emotionless as possible here.
Yeah.
She was just stone faced.
I also love the other kid in this movie who doesn't give two fucks about the insane
Okay.
door. When the Chud's coming up the apartment hallway and the kid's like trying to open it for the Chud. The Chud's like banging on the door and the kid's like, oh,
I wrote something about that in my notes. Let me find it.
and then the Chud like busts
yeah.
through the wall.
He came on. I wrote nice bowl cut, nerd. And then I said, Jackson, get out of there. Leave the toy man. Go, 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 go.
Yeah, dude. That was a stressful scene.
He went back because he leaves. The Chud's banging on the door.
Yep.
He leaves because it's dinner time. He goes back for the toy. I'm like, no.
Yeah. I will say that of all the horror movies that we've watched so far, it's funny that this one, I think, did the most for me when it came to building suspense with these Chuds. Like that, the scene in the
Because you don't know what they're
apartment-
capable of.
Well, you don't see him all that much.
No.
Which was a big. I think something I didn't like was like the just fucking 30 millisecond shot of a Chud. Be like, show me the damn Chud, man.
Right.
Think about it, though, it's 19.
Yeah,
but they looked good.
Probably expensive.
But that's just a trope of the horror movie genre where it's the unknown is scarier than the known.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, like, one of the reasons
Once you
that
show your monster, it's
then
kind
you've
of-
lost it.
Yeah.
Which is why, like, Jaws is a great horror movie because you don't see the shark at all until the end. And
Yeah.
I know I've seen so many horror movies where there's so much anticipation and fear about what it is, what's the main antagonist here. Then once you see it, it loses a lot of it because you're like, oh, there it is.
Yeah, that's a good point.
There's the thing.
There's one that came out recently that I watched.
The one about the Airbnb in the basement.
No, it was the one with the woman. She's like a behavioral scientist, and people keep like killing
Smile?
themselves in front of her. Smile, yeah.
Yep.
The monster at the end of Smile.
Yeah.
They show the monster, and you're like, that was scary for about 45 seconds, but now this movie's essentially over.
Same thing happened. I can't remember what it's called. It came out not that long ago where it was about these people go into an Airbnb and they find a secret room in the basement. And there's a bunch of tunnels and it's horrifying at first because all you get are these long shots of dark hallways. You're like, what the fuck?
Sounds like a movie we've watched before.
A little bit. But it's like, it lingers on those very clear things of, no, it's different than that. Because you're actually looking at something. And it's building fear because you're like, what's going to come out of that dark hallway?
You know it's a dark hallway. You know what you're seeing.
And they spoil it pretty quickly because they're like, oh, it's just an old scary woman.
Oh, and you're like, great.
Who
thanks.
gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so, I didn't mind that they didn't show it, but they did look good.
Yeah.
So they probably could have.
But
near the end.
suspense wise, like, really good. I mean, like that shot, that whole apartment sequence when like his wife's, she finds the dog in the subterranean access hatch that they have in the basement of their apartment.
Yeah, which is weird.
Yeah. That's apparently well known by everybody.
Yeah.
A lot of people go to it. But anyways.
Seems like something you shouldn't have in your apartment.
Yeah. Then you're like, oh, because they're like, oh, the chud's going to get out. And you're like, oh my God, does she know that Chud's going to get out?
Dude, she doesn't have any
She doesn't
idea.
have a clue. And then there's the kid sequence with like them banging on the door, and then the Chud's at her door, and then they really like amp you up before they get into the big Chud samurai sword fight scene.
And then it bursts through the wall.
Yeah, which was sick.
like-
I really feel like that movie kind of climaxed right there.
Really?
As far as like it's emotional peak for me. Like at that, I was like,
Yeah.
The Kool-Aid Man.
It was a bit Kool-Aid Man. Then he got the goofy neck going. I love the little motion he did where he grew his neck and he goes like,
that's a really 80s thing to do. I think is to make your monster longer.
but it was good. And it did remind me of John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah.
It was some, practical effects. It looked good.
Yep.
Just chopped that thing's head off. Turned into an ankle biter. Started gnawing on her ankle. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is a quote from that reporter who was talking to the main character. I loved this quote. You must be a pretty important fella.
Yeah, that was good. That was really good.
Oh, I'm using that.
Yeah.
Incredible. We were kind of skipping around here, but that's okay.
Any thoughts, Riley? Nope.
Let's see. Shower scene went totally different than I expected.
Gross.
Yep.
Disgusting.
Also,
but
what
I
was
cleaned
it?
out my my drains yesterday, and it's exactly like that.
Blood everywhere.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Gross.
Have you
Bleep
checked the
that one out.
basement of your apartment
for a
building?
chud?
For a underground cellar?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Access
haven't
tunnel.
actually, but I imagine there is.
Almost certainly.
Yeah.
I mean, spoilers that they didn't solve the chud problem at the end of
Yeah,
this
that's true. Yeah, they did. They do not solve the chud.
So they
problem
could have
in this
spread.
movie. Well, wait. Is the implication that when the car explodes, it ignites the gas in the tunnel?
Who knows? They don't show it.
Interesting. But they also don't end with a chud shot.
No. It just ends. It just ends. They leave the main thing in the movie, the fact that there are chuds under New York City, completely up in the air.
Well, how are they gonna have a Chud too?
That was
But
the
you-
first
but-
Letterboxd
a
review
good
I
point.
saw.
It's
It was
crazy.
Like 1 star. They forgot the,
They forgot to end it.
the entire plot of the movie.
That's crazy. The main plot, they forgot to end. They just were like, I don't know. What? Just
Blow it up.
Just do one shot of like,
A chud.
yeah, or like
Or like him, like his hand.
the
coming
sewer.
over the
Yeah,
sewer.
the sewers are on fire, and you see one hand,
Yeah.
and then it fades to black. But it's crazy.
Marv and Bosch kind of predator handshaked, and that was the end of the movie.
Oh my god, dude! Yeah, I loved the whole scene. I have some great notes from it. It starts with, let's see here. He's got a gun. What? When he pulls him aside to talk about it.
That feels like an 80s trope, is everybody's kind of got a hidden snub-nosed revolver.
But I just
in their
loved
waistband.
the motion of it, and like it was crazy because there's just like, oh, you know, we've got to get these people out of the sewers, you know, and the big wig's like, not on my watch. I've got a gun. It's like, wow, where did that gun come from? Then immediately, he got the gun away from him pretty easily and knocked him out. What did you think of that little tussle? Our fight correspondent, Chris.
Yeah, I missed it. I didn't even see it.
Really?
Yep.
It was good because he made sure that when he
out.
went for the gun to drag the gun across his body. Like he pulled it. He made
Maybe
sure to
I
point
did
it at
see
him.
that.
And then with a really weak punch, knocked him out.
I did see that actually.
It's kind of a big right hand. It reminded me of the classic Lore for Nobody Will Paul fight.
That was
Yeah. I mean,
Kind of a shorter guy going up.
I feel like this was
that was a great one.
So I did see this scene.
Deep
I
cut.
forgot that I saw it. I just
Yeah.
erased it from my memory banks, I guess.
the thing that made it seem like not a good punch was just the sound, wasn't it?
Yep, that's what it looked. Well, it looked very fake, and then the
Oh yeah, because the audio was done by a guy in a room going kapow.
yeah, it sounded like the old Adam West Batman. That's what it sounds like.
That's what it seemed like. Then my next note was, Bosch, no, he had two guns.
Yeah, he did have two guns.
Because the guy pulled out another gun
Which
and
is
shot
weird
Bosch.
because he had the gun in his right hand both times. The holster was on his right hip, so that means he had a gun and a holster on his right hip,
And one in his
also a
waistband.
gun in his waistband on his right hip.
Why do you have two guns? Why didn't you go for the one in the
Listen,
holster?
man, when you're dealing with the Nuclear Regulatory Commission,
You never know.
But
you
not really.
You got to keep two on you.
Not really, because he was actually
Stay strapped.
government.
That's the NRC.
Yeah,
Isn't that who he was working for?
I can't remember.
I
Just the
think it was.
government in general.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good point.
Great explosion.
Disagreeing.
You don't think it was a good explosion?
Lackluster explosion. I really thought that the ending of this
It's
movie
okay.
was fun, but it was its weakest part. Because you're kind of like, okay, Bosch gets shot. He's still alive. The guy goes on a rampage with a car. Why? Nobody knows why. Like, is he trying to tie up loose ends?
I don't know. I
Doesn't
think
really make
he's
sense.
just like,
They have to set up that explosion by saying 5 minutes earlier, remember, everybody, these trucks are rigged to explode from beneath.
so don't hit a pothole.
Yeah, so don't hit a pothole.
Dude, Chekhov's explosion.
It was
Yeah.
Chekhov's explosion, but it felt like they did the explosion and then somebody was like an intern on set was like, how's the car explode in the script?
Yeah.
And they went, fuck.
We gotta
do reshoots.
Yeah, we gotta do. I don't think this movie had reshoots.
You don't think so?
They're just that good.
Oh, okay.
They're just that good.
But I mean, I liked the ending. I thought it was fun, but I think that it leaving it so up in the air was kind of like, wasn't this movie about a chud?
Yeah.
And like, well, they didn't book into anything. The ankle bite, is she going to be a chud now?
I don't know. Is that how it
do
spreads?
they work
Yeah.
like zombies?
Because that's how Victor, whoever
Yeah.
the
forgot about
first
Victor.
the like leg bite dude, he turned into one.
Forgot about
Yeah.
Victor.
So it would be assumed they're like zombies.
Yeah. I mean, the ankle biter didn't really get a good bite on her. It didn't look like.
Right,
Kind
but
of nibbled.
in every zombie
Yeah.
movie, if you get bit by one even a little bit, then you
But these aren't zombies.
They're
They're
chuds.
chuds.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
a
guess
point.
we don't know how they work.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to watch Chud too.
Yeah, they're more like feral ghouls.
You don't want to.
More like
They're
feral
kind of like ghouls. Yeah.
Yeah.
from the Fallout video games.
Yeah, I did think they looked a little vampiric.
Yeah, they were a little
vampire-like.
little vampiric. Fucking fist pumped so hard when I thought Bosch was dead, and then after Marv shoots the truck and it explodes, and he goes, "Nice shot," from the ground.
Yeah.
I fucking fist
I love how
pumped.
slow the truck must have been going to give Shepard enough time to take 3 shots.
Yeah.
From what seemed like maybe 40 yards.
I mean, he didn't make it super far.
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't make it far
Between
at all.
the first shot of him flooring it to run them over, Marv picking up the gun,
he
shooting
got about
twice.
30 seconds.
Yeah.
He had enough time to shoot wildly twice, stop, take a breath, think about it, steal his aim.
Yeah. Shoot through the steering wheel.
Yeah,
Bang.
and then good thing the bad guy didn't have his foot on the gas apparently because
he
the truck just kind of rolled to a gentle stop over the pothole before exploding.
Yeah, he also the truck only went like 2 feet forward.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. It's like somebody was behind it pushing it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. You guys have any portions that stood out to you?
Riley's
No, I mean, I feel like we talked
no.
about a lot of what kind of stuck out to me already.
Yeah.
Like, because like we mentioned, I thought like the baby scene, the pregnancy scene was really good.
It was good. Great acting.
Yeah.
All around.
I want to see a Bosch Shepherd spinoff, like like the X-Files.
Yeah. Like a buddy cop type deal.
Yep.
Investigating chuds all around the nation.
Yep.
Yeah.
I want to know their story. What like how'd they meet each other?
Prequel?
How they meet each
Prequel,
other.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It seems like he has some history with the homeless people in the towns.
Yeah, but it's
I
like
assume it'd be-
it's like his informant. But like then what? How did Shepard get down there? Shepard's a crazy character.
Yeah.
And he's like really idealistic, which is interesting for a character like that.
Yeah.
Especially there's a scene where he leaves food out, and this is the thing I think that I loved about this movie compared to watching Meat Canyon or whatever. Or sorry, not prominent YouTuber Meat Canyon.
No, not him.
But Midnight Meat Canyon last week.
Correct. Midnight Meat Box Canyon.
Yeah, Midnight Meat Box Canyon. Never want to be in one of those.
Tie it all together.
Yeah. Is that this movie did world building way better. Whereas Midnight Meat Train is like, we're not going to tell you about anything and then show you like as fast as we possibly can. This movie didn't really show you anything, but would just drop hints in it. Like when Marv, they're going down the sewer and there's a bag of food.
Right.
And Bosch asks like, oh, what's this bag for? And Marv's like, that's for the shy ones. It's a scary world up there. And I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
There's more people down here?
But it was rotten. So then Bosch was like, they must not be hungry.
Yep. They do a good job of world building because there's this whole world under there where like that's what Midnight Meat Train was trying to accomplish was to give you this feeling like there's this whole world under the subway, something that you don't know about. You're inviting the viewer in, but they just didn't do it at all in that movie. It was more about watching Bradley Cooper, I don't know, have sex in a diner, and this movie was really about like inviting the viewer into the world because that's what the photographer was there for, right? And I think Derek being the least interesting character was really like the viewer insert. Yeah, you know what I mean. And he's the one who gets sort of invited out of his day-to-day like schmop life.
But you also get the like the goofy idealistic, down on his luck.
Yep.
Not going to keep him down type guy.
Yep.
So there's like so many characters to relate to.
Yeah,
you got Bosch, who's like
a New York City cop on the edge.
Beat cop on the edge. I mean, you got the wife who's like
has a character, which I think is more the biggest thing about this being an 80s movie.
It shows that you don't have to do much to give somebody a character. Like all you needed from her was she was kind of, the photographer was pissed about the job and he doesn't want to do it. She's like, hey, fucking chill out. Also, they're going to pay us a fucking bunch of money and we can bounce. And it's like, that's great. Like, it shows that she's got some agency and she's not just like cookie cutter wife in a movie.
It shows, like there's actual partnership. It's not just like, oh, I'm his eye candy.
Which is exactly what it was in Midnight Meat Train. Yeah. Because like all that was just the hot wife B plot in Midnight Meat Train. Like her character had agency and like and you're like cared about the world around her, not just cared about Derek. Like she really doesn't do anything with Derek.
No,
not that much. And she's more concerned about fucking figuring her own shit out. Yeah, which I think is again like giving a female character in an 80s movie agency while not doing that at all in a Bradley Cooper movie. Well, I think speaks to how this movie was written and acted pretty well.
In Midnight Meat Train, I mean, you're like, why are these two characters together? They don't seem to have any chemistry. They don't seem to like each other all that much. And this, I was like, I totally understand the relationship here. It makes sense that they're together because they're kind of giving each other shit at the beginning, and but they're both goofing around, and then when she's like, yeah, we're just going to take the money and fucking run. It's like, yeah, these two characters feel like it's like
a Bonnie and Clyde thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Like there's actual relationship chemistry within the couple.
Good movie.
Yeah. So I was glad to see them make it out on top. I was a little afraid they were going to kill her off, but
I thought they were going to kill Derek.
I thought they were going to kill Bosch.
And I love at the end how traumatized Derek is. He's like hugging his wife, and she falls to his knees, and his wife's like, "Oh, poor Derek. I killed one with a samurai sword. You coward!
What did you do? You ran her out of the sewers?
Yeah. Did you get any photos? We can. Oh my. Well, good. I killed one that you can take pictures.
I've
of.
got the body.
Yeah, like she was going through it, dude. Seeing a strangled
She
dog,
had a home invasion by a chud.
Yeah, dude, and a blood shower.
Yeah.
And
What
she
was
was
the blood
real
shower?
chill about it.
What was the blood shower? What was that?
I think that was just to be like, look how gross it is.
Yeah,
But
I
then
also don't
also-
know. Because I was a little distracted, but I was watching the movie, looked down, looked back up.
blood shower.
Blood shower.
Yeah.
But also, there was the scene that I assume it was there just to get everybody in one location, but where they were like, "Oh, that seems like there's been a murder in the sewers because there's all this blood around, but there's no bodies." So I was like, "Is something going on with the water in the sewers where it's like there's blood in it or something?"
I don't know.
Because there's blood in her shower drain, which was out of nowhere.
Well, maybe there's so many people have died in the sewers that there's blood in the
it
water.
must have been like a cut subplot about
Maybe.
them contaminating the water.
Oh, and they kept it in for the shock value.
Maybe, I don't know. It felt like, where did this come
Yeah.
from?
One more thing about the movie. I wanted to know more about the like little chud hangout area with the radioactive waste all over the ground, and all the chuds were in it, kind of like wow. They were sort of like beckoning to the sky, and I was like, are the chuds worshiping?
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like
Well-
in Futurama how all the mutants under the subterranean, in the subterranean world, they get all their stuff from the overworld. All the stuff that we don't want
Discard.
and flush, they get.
So the chuds were praying to
Yes.
the sewer gods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please,
Yeah.
gods,
The
flush
the pantheon of sewer gods.
Yeah.
Donatello,
Yes.
Michelangelo,
yes,
Leonardo, and Da Vinci.
No, false.
I don't know the last one.
They're like, please give me
Derek.
a toothbrush.
No, that's
my
the other
teeth.
guy.
Splinter.
My teeth are. Yeah, there's 5.
A pizza.
Yes, and also Shredder.
Yes.
He's like the devil.
and Master Blaster
Oh,
or whatever the rat's
the
name
master
is.
becomes the blaster.
Also, if you like the Red Ninja Turtle, well, fuck you. We're not going to say his name.
what was
So-
his name?
Did we not say it? Did I
Nope.
not say him?
That's the one you missed.
I thought he was Da Vinci. Ronaldo.
I know what it is. I refuse to say it.
I'm looking up the name.
Come on, man. Tell us who the Red Ninja Turtle was.
No.
Leonardo.
Leonardo.
Reckless Rick.
You're thinking
That was
of Wreck-It
pretty
Ralph.
close.
You're thinking of Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah.
Donatello?
No, it was Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, and Raphael.
Donatello.
Raphael.
Yeah.
Raphael.
Donatello.
Yeah. There's
Yeah,
the last
it was
one.
Donatello.
Raphael is
Yeah.
funny.
Ralph.
That's like
Wreck-It.
Will.i.am.
Good old Ralph.
Will.i.am's that guy came before Will.i.am, but Will.i.am stole his thunder. Was
Yeah.
Raphael.
Wreck-It Raphael.
Yeah.
Cool. Anybody have any last thoughts about the movie before we rank it?
No.
Shout out to John Goodman. Let's rank this thing.
Ranking.
Ranking. Okay.
Who's going first?
Well, this list is in reverse order, where the higher the movie is ranked, the worse it is. If you're curious about the list so far, you can check out the whole thing by following the link in the description.
Since I was prepared, I can start it off.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah, I gave this movie had a kind of total ranking of a 4.4 for me. So it was it ended up like 7th on my list, but there's a bunch of ties, so
Okay.
middle of the road, middle of the pack.
What was your score on production?
I gave it a 4. Because like I said, the characters were actually a lot better than what I expected.
Yeah.
Like I had mentioned before, like some of the dialogue and just 80s cinematography wasn't really my cup of tea, so it took a hit for that. But pretty much everything else production wise, I enjoyed.
Yeah. Riley, production.
I would say a good, maybe average 5.
Oh, yeah.
5. Solid. Yeah.
I have 4. I'll say 4.
4.
Yeah,
Okay. Gotcha.
it was okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but it wasn't bad. I
Yeah.
don't know. All my scorings are going to be pretty average.
Okay. Jack, do you have a score for production?
I gave it a 6.
6. Any reason?
I liked it. I thought it was good.
Yeah?
I thought the pacing was meh, but like there was nothing egregious about it.
Yeah.
I thought the chuds looked good. I thought that the kind of the weird, practical body horror stuff was gross and scary.
Yeah.
And the movie looked good for an 80s movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I gave it a 4.
The lowest score, I think.
Now, Chris and Riley both
No,
gave it
yeah.
4s. But for similar reasons, I think. I thought the acting was better than I expected. Just to reiterate some of the other stuff you guys have said. But there were some things that were weird about it. Entertainment value. Chris?
I gave it a 4 for this as well.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't have the most fun watching the movie. I feel like a lot of it, I was forcing myself to get through it.
That's fair.
But I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
It wasn't my favorite movie.
Yeah. Riley? Entertainment? Or, entertainment value.
I'm going to give it a 2 because I did not force myself to watch this movie. I came back for certain parts when I was like, ooh, that looks kind of interesting. I
That
was
is
not
true.
entertained at all. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's just
Large gaps.
I'm
in
a
the
hater of 80s movies.
spot. Yeah.
We have
It's
been through this before.
Yeah. I think I need something a little bit more realistic.
Well, good
Okay.
thing
In a
their
way.
next movie is going to be Death Ship.
Yeah. Jack, entertainment value?
4. Give it a
Jesus.
4. Well, talking about it was more fun.
Didn't you just
I agree.
do it? What'd you give it?
I had given it a 6, and then I was like, I'm going to give it a 5, and then I was like, actually, I'm going to give it a 4. Because here's why. Talking about this movie is really fun.
I agree.
This movie would have gotten like an 8 in entertainment if I had watched it with everybody. By myself, the reality of it was that I did not finish the movie, and I went to bed.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
not finishing the movie, I think, is all in all a below average experience entertainment wise.
Okay.
I would,
But just barely, because I did like it. So
Okay.
it's a 4.
Gotcha. I gave it an 8. I had a great time watching it.
yeah.
I had a good time. It was fun.
Big
I liked
jump,
the
big jump.
characters. I was entertained. Had a fun, just all around good time. I was engrossed in the world. Wanted to see how it played out. Wasn't disappointed.
Solid.
Yeah. Creativity.
Yeah.
Christopher.
Creativity. I gave this movie a 7.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought. Sure, there's been movies, similar ideas like the Subterranean antagonist, but I thought it did it very well. I think it did a good job of kind of juggling the 4 main characters.
Yeah.
That's true. You never really got lost in what they were doing.
Uh-huh.
And I did also actually give it a bonus point hearing all of the movies that took, or all the, I guess, not just movies, but all the mediums that have
Yeah.
taken inspiration.
Oh, this was a
from this.
foundational film.
Influential to a lot of people. That's fair. Riley.
Yeah, so, yeah. Go ahead.
Creativity.
Were you finished?
Yeah.
Oh, what'd you give it?
A 7.
7.
You know what? I'll give it a 5.5.
Okay.
Because again, I don't watch old movies. So, but from conversations that we've had here, it seems like this is kind of one of the first-ish of its time. So I feel like you got to give it a little
Certainly
credit
was
there.
in the peak.
And-
I think we had this conversation when we did Inseminoid, where we were like, they made a lot of these movies in the 80s, and some of them fell through the cracks. Inseminoid being one of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was one that
Yeah, did
at the
That
time
didn't-
seemed to, but I think.
Which is odd because it
stood up.
debuted and made a bunch of money, but
Yeah.
debuted pretty good at the box office, but people didn't like it. But they've turned around on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which was also weird because, again, I didn't think it was that bad of a movie. Like, if I watched this in the 80s when it came out, this probably would have been an amazing movie.
Yeah, but then again, you've got like Alien and
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, that's true.
The-
Star
This-
Wars.
Freddy,
Maybe.
Freddy Krueger movies. Friday the 13th came out in the 80s, so you've got like a bunch of these heavy hitting ones. So maybe you see this and you're like, man, it's not Alien.
Yeah. So you ended 5.5?
Yes.
5.5.
On creativity?
Yes.
Wow, half point on creativity. Jack, creativity?
6.
I also gave it a 6.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was good.
Yeah, I was like, not the most creative thing. Secret Underground World.
Nuclear waste.
Yeah, it felt a little tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
But so it got some points, but 6 for me. Scariness? Chris?
I had it at a 4.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't think it was in itself scary, but I think they did a good job with the gore and like practical
That's fair.
effects were well done.
That's fair. Yeah. The idea of a CHUD is pretty scary. Riley?
Yeah. I mean, I'm an easy target for scariness. So I'll give it a 4.
That's fair.
Just on gore alone.
4 on gore.
4.
4 for gore.
4 for gore.
That's 2 4s for gores.
Pacing of the scary bits was good. I thought
Yeah.
it built suspense well. But like at the end of the day, when you see a CHUD, I wasn't thinking about him when I walked away.
Yeah. I only gave it a 1 on scariness.
So brave.
Me?
Yeah.
Why?
You're a brave boy.
Oh, I see. Because I'm not. Because just the idea of CHUDs are scary, but in reality they don't exist. So.
Oh, see, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I mean, if it was bears down there instead, it would have been.
That's a
scarier.
good point.
Yeah.
That's why that one movie is so scary.
Yeah,
with the
Cocaine
big,
Bear.
with the big elf.
Yeah.
Oh,
See,
Cocaine Bear.
and I was a little more scared until I seen the one girl chop up the one with the samurai
Yeah,
sword.
yeah.
And then I was like, well,
They're pretty
if I
easy to
ever see
kill.
one, I can just pull out my samurai
But you
sword.
can't
and-
burn them for some reason.
Well, they're nuclear.
Yeah.
Nuclear.
Some would say they are a little hot.
I guess it makes sense that they reference this in The Simpsons because Homer Simpson worked at a
Oh yeah, CHUDs would be
a nuclear
CHUDs would make
plant.
sense.
I only gave it a 1 on scariness just because I was like, I'm not, I'm not super scared of these
Yeah.
things. The gore was like, there were some shots I was just like gross, but nothing egregious. It factor, Chris?
3.
3.
I did, yeah. It was like it had a little bit more of an it factor than like the Ouija's movies. But it's just, I don't know. No part about this was like I'm drawn to this part of the movie. It was just a movie about some underground chuds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Riley, it factor?
1.
Really? Just a 1. Didn't do it for you.
No, I didn't. I barely watched it.
Jack, it factor?
Gave it a 6. And it's not because I looked at your screen.
Are you sure? Because I also gave it a 6.
I mean, I feel like this could be somebody's favorite movie.
Yes.
Like if you're talking to a guy at a bar and you get on the topic of old movies and you're like, oh, I watched CHUD. They'd be like, holy shit, I used to watch that as a kid and I
It's my
loved that
favorite movie.
I loved that movie when I was a kid. This feels like that movie. And I liked it because of that. It felt nostalgic even though I'd never seen it before.
Yeah.
That's fair. I can see that.
Yeah, I just gave it a 6 because I was like, I don't know, it's just a fun time. It's hard to make a fun movie. I think a lot of things have to go right to make something fun to watch, and just like you're like enjoying people's interactions, which I did very much so in this. That can be tough to get actors who very clearly have a lot of chemistry.
Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan.
Take notes,
Take
dude.
notes.
So yeah, I gave it a 6. Jack, or Chris, what was your final score?
Yeah. My final score was a 4.4.
Riley, final score?
Has to do the maths.
I have to do the math.
Yep.
Dun,
I'm
dun,
so sorry.
dun, 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 dun.
I don't even remember.
dun,
Can you skip me?
Jack, what was your final score?
5.4.
Okay. My final score was a 5.
Solid.
Pretty
five.
high on my individual list.
Yeah.
That is true.
I mean, I think a lot of our movies tend towards like an average. And I think because we watch movies that are so bad and our ranking is so skewed that direction, if a movie scores like average 5 or plus,
It's good.
pretty good movie.
It's a good movie.
So I think take that a note if you're like, I want to go watch a movie on this list. A 5 is a good score.
Yeah. But also,
Yeah.
I think that makes sense because, like, I don't think if you're ranking this like outside of this list, if you're going to give it like an 8 or 9 or something, it makes sense that it'd be closer to average because you're like, yeah, this isn't a great movie, but it borders on so bad it's good at times, and it's just kind of a fun fun time.
Yeah,
It's not
fun
something
time.
that you
Good
need
time
to go
movie.
watch.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd recommend it to somebody, and I'd say,
Yeah.
you should watch this
What
movie.
should we do tonight? I don't know, man. I just want to get a pizza and
Watch
have
some
a couple
C.H.U.D.
drinks. Watch some C.H.U.D.
Yeah, I mean, Riley, do you have your final score?
We're gonna forget the math, and we're gonna just go with a 3.5.
What? You got to use the math.
He's math.
Ah.
I think she made up those scores as we talked about them.
That is true.
Crazy. So what's the final score average out to, Chris?
That
our
The
list
final
master.
score, and
Final score.
we have our final score.
What is it?
It is a 4.575.
Wow.
All right. Yeah, better than Puka, a little worse than The Happening.
Yeah.
That makes very, very logical sense to me.
Yeah.
Because The Happening, it's a good movie. It's a bad movie.
It's pretty funny.
It's
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's so quotable. Yeah, but these feel like this movie and The Happening feel like they could compete.
Yeah, for sure.
Like if they were in a fight, it feels like it'd be a close fight.
Oh, for sure.
Or like a foot race.
Yeah, Marky Mark would throw down.
Yeah. These are like on my
And John
personal
Goodman
list.
would throw
The
down.
Happening
yeah.
and this are right next to each other.
Yeah. I mean, for me, this was pretty high on my list, so it was definitely up there. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
Hell yeah.
there it is.
All right. Who's up? Who's on the
Coming
list?
in, what is it? It's at number
9.
Number 9.
Number 9.
Or is it at number 10?
Or no, you are right. It
Yeah.
is at number
10.
Number 10.
Yes.
Nice. Feels like a good spot for it.
The fuck?
Which means it's now time for...
What are we watching next?
Yes.
Oh man. so lethargic today.
Yeah, that was sad.
What are we watching next?
Ready?
Yep.
Ready?
Spin the wheel, Jack. Spin that wheel. It's really here in real life.
It's spinning.
You can hear it. Hear that wheel spin?
Whoa, look at it go. It's really expensive.
Wow.
Guess whose turn it is?
Chris.
Chris.
Mine.
It's your turn.
It's your turn.
What are we watching next?
Okay.
Tell me.
Next.
Next.
Gosh, I'm at the edge of my seat.
Oh my god.
I'm not picking your movie. Don't show me.
You gotta wait your turn.
I have my own movies.
He's his own man.
Yeah.
He'll make his own decisions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I think I'm actually not gonna pick the movie I was planning on picking before.
Lordy. Lord almighty.
That had me like you pulled the fucking string on me right there. That was crazy.
You were yanking them.
I'm gonna pick Lamb.
It's not true. He
picking
did
the movie
not.
Lamb?
He did not yank me.
Yes.
Just to be clear.
Well, can you read the thing?
Yeah, read us
Did
the
if you
thing.
liked it, Pierce.
Oh, whoa.
A couple discover mysterious
No, this movie.
half-land
won't
human
do it.
newborn on their farm in Iceland.
No.
The unexpected prospect of family life brings them much joy.
This is a
before ultimately destroying them.
This is an A24 film.
Movie, dude.
I'm surprised that it's on
I
a bad
don't
scary
wanna
movie
watch
list
this
because it's an
movie.
A24 movie, and those are usually good.
Oh my god, I don't want to do it, dude. This movie freaks me the fuck
you seen
out.
it?
I
I've
wanna
seen the
do it.
trailer,
Oh.
and the trailer
do
Oh, we watched it together.
freaks
Yeah,
me
I
out.
think we all watched that
when the
trailer
woman looks at
together.
the goat and she's
It's
like,
like-
"This is my baby,
Yeah, and it's like,
literally shaking.
mine," and the goat's like,
Just goat.
"Oh, dude, it's heartbreaking.
eyes.
I don't want to fucking watch this. Oh, this might be the worst movie on the list just because I am so terrified by it. I rank it a 1 because I pissed myself.
Well, that's in the scariness factor, so it'd get a high
Oh,
score
that's
there.
true. Yeah. No, it'd get a low score. It'd get a low score on the comfort factor.
Oh yeah. Well,
yeah.
I'm glad
You're
I didn't
right.
include the comfort factor here. Alternate name to this podcast.
Interesting.
But that's what we're watching next time. Lamb.
I don't want to.
Maybe probably A24's. I guess it would be its worst movie. I mean,
It's got a 3.1 on Letterboxd. It's pretty
Yeah.
good. Which is, I think, as far as that's like in the Letterboxd window of movies to watch.
so it's pretty much.
Don't they say the Letterboxd window is like 3.5 to 4.5?
I don't even know what that means, but
I don't either.
Okay, never mind.
Closing remarks. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Check us out on Instagram and Twitter at Dookie Pod.
That's with a Y.
Yeah, links are in the description
Maybe
below.
we'll post someday.
No.
Sometimes I
probably
get on the Twitter, just browse.
not. Yeah, there you go. We're lurkers.
Yeah, I lurk on our podcast account.
We're lurkers. Send us an email at dookiespookies@gmail.com.
It's got an IE.
Still haven't checked it. So,
We're really giving you guys
Stacking
some
them up.
time.
yeah.
And one of the
Fill up the
30
inbox.
30 of you.
I want Pierce to spend all day reading your guys' emails.
Yeah,
Just
I
blow 'em up.
want to get
I shan't be
post
doing that.
a PO box where we have to open mail like in your garage.
Do you remember when that was a big thing for YouTubers? They'd have a PO
Yeah.
box and they'd do like, we're opening this.
Yeah, I
things
love
that
it.
you
And
send
people
me.
would send them like a embalmed like rat or something.
The Smosh used to do it all the
Oh,
time.
it's amazing. I want to
Yeah.
do that, and people send us horror movie memorabilia.
That'd be great.
Or a drawing of like 4 lions at a podcast
yes,
table.
fan art. Draw some fan art. Make sure that
Email
Rampage
it to
Jackson
us.
is there sitting in
Yeah.
the background.
Send us a picture of Rampage Jackson.
Yeah.
You got
I
one?
mean, just a picture of him.
Print one off.
Yeah.
Draw one.
I mean, who cares?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. But that's the show. Subscribe if you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Maybe-
Next week, we'll tell you a big secret.
Yeah, and if you didn't enjoy it, leave a thumbs down because it doesn't matter on YouTube because it doesn't show it anymore. So nobody knows who dislikes
If you didn't
it.
like it, comment something really mean.
Yes, and we'll pin it.
Yeah.
The meanest thing, we'll pin it to the top so
Yeah.
everybody knows that you're mean.
Yeah.
Mean boy.
Yeah. We'll shout you out on
Mean,
our
bad
top 10
boy.
meanest viewers list.
Yeah,
our
that'll-
sub list on top 10. That's what we do on Dookie Spookies After Hours.
Yes, we rank our mean viewers.
Our meanest viewers.
Yep, it's great stuff. I'm sure we've been fading out for a while now. So, bye.